A teenager who stabbed 3 men, killing 2, has been jailed for a minimum of 28 years. Rashane Douglas stabbed Haidar Shah, 19, Joshua Clark, 21, and Brandon Coupe, 18, in the chest in Halifax, West Yorkshire, October last year. The attack is said to have followed an argument over a girl in a club. Mr Coupe survived while Mr Shah and Mr Clark died from their injuries. Douglas, 19, was found guilty earlier this year of murdering Mr Clark and Mr Shah and wounding Mr Coupe. He has now been jailed for life with a minimum term of 28 years at Bradford Crown Court. The court heard how Douglas was angry that a woman he had planned to meet was with Mr Shah instead. The stabbings, which happened outside the club, were caught on CCTV. Footage also shows Douglas running away and apparently throwing the knife down a drain. Douglas said during his evidence that he carried a knife as he didn't feel safe and said it was intended to scare people away and not to be used. Douglas's friend Yasin Iqbal, 18, of Hallbower, Huddersfield, was also found guilty of assisting an offender and jailed for 12 months. Commenting on the case, Judge Rose said, quote, "If you carry a knife, you are more likely to draw it. If you draw it, you are more likely to use it. If you use it, you are more likely to cause injury or death." The judge also said the case illustrated the tragic consequences which can follow when a young man carries a knife in public. Statements from Mr Shah and Mr Clark's family were read outside the court.
In a statement, Haidar Shah's family described the impact of losing him. Yasmin, Haidar's mother, said, "No words can ever describe the way I feel about the loss of my beautiful son. The emptiness, the physical and mental pain, the gathering of friends and families, mourning and at the funeral. I am destroyed. I am confused. My head aches, my body aches, and my heart aches. No mother should go through what I am facing. I pray no mother buries their child, especially one who was as treasured as Haidar." Haidar's sister Mariam went on to say, "I speak for everyone that personally knew Haidar when I say Haidar was the most beautiful person inside and out. He had a heart of gold, and his contagious smile and wholesome personality brought so much joy to all our hearts. Haidar had big dreams and inspirations. He often told me he would always do his best to make sure he lives his life to the fullest, with only happiness surrounding him. Haidar wasn't one for arguments. He wasn't a fighter. He was a chilled, loving, young lad wanting to enjoy and live the best life. I can't even begin to put into words what he meant to each one of us, as he played so many different roles in our lives. The day we lost Haidar, we each lost a part of ourselves." Shazerb, Haidar's older brother, also said, "Witnessing someone take their last breath with whom you share the same blood with, grew up with, and shared happy memories with, affects you more than people will understand. All I want to do is be able to see him, hug him, and apologise for every argument we've ever had and for every time I've done him wrong. But I will never ever get that opportunity because it was taken away from me. For someone who doesn't deserve to be named to be so cowardly to use a knife, then to try and justify it, then try to cover it up and believe he's blameless in all this just doesn't resonate with me. I look at the pain in my mother's eyes. I see the impact Haidar's death has had on her, my sister, my brothers, and my niece." Joshua's mother described the profound effect of losing him. In her own words, Rachel said, "Josh has been a constant in my life since I gave birth to him at the age of 17. I can't remember what life was like before him. Josh was my only child, and I always thought that not having any more children wouldn't affect my life, as Josh was all I ever needed. He made me whole, he gave me a purpose, and was everything and more that I could ever wish for in a son. Josh gave me the proud title of Mum, something I will never hear him say again. I will never again receive another Mother's Day card from him. a thoughtful birthday gift, or just a cuddle on the sofa from my loving son. Josh wasn't just my son, he was also my best friend. We would laugh and joke together with his quick-witted and clever sense of humour. Life was so much fun with Josh in it. Now my life feels empty and dark. My new normal is trying to navigate my way through life without Josh in it, now that his life has been cruelly and needlessly ripped away from him by the actions of a brutal killer. The cruel actions of one individual didn't just take away my beloved son, but also shattered my sense of self-worth. On behalf of all the victims' families, we would like to offer our sincere thanks to the Good Samaritan bystanders who offered assistance to our boys at the murder scene, and to the paramedics and surgical teams who tried their best to save Josh and Haidar's lives. We'd also like to thank West Yorkshire Police, who conducted a tireless investigation and who, with the Crown Prosecution Service, put together such a compelling case. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Both Haidar and Josh were much loved by all those that knew them, and their deaths in such violent circumstances has left everyone absolutely devastated. No family should ever have to witness what these families have had to witness in court this week, during this trial, watching the last breaths of their loved ones